Hey everyone, I am so glad you're here today. I want to jump into today's episode and I want to talk about bloom where you are planted. And guys, I want to let you know that I am a stay-at-home mom with a 7-month old. So you might just hear her in the background. It is what it is. So, this one thing changed my life forever. Someone once told me, bloom where you are planted. Wherever God, the universe, source, what you believe in, I'm going to say God, but you choose what you want. So, wherever God placed you in life right now, how can you see that as the best thing ever? See the perfection in what is right now. So, when I first heard this, I was a single mom with my first daughter. And I desired to be in a marriage one day. I desired to have that beautiful relationship. I wanted the beautiful home and the beautiful family. And at that time, I was not with my daughter's dad anymore. And I was providing for myself. I was taking care of my daughter. I was providing for her. I was working like 8-hour days, 5 days a week. I was hustling. And I was living in a little apartment with just the two of us. And I had to see how that was all perfect. Even though I wasn't where I desired to be yet, I had to see why it was perfect right now and where I was planted in life at that moment. Why was that the best thing? And I took inventory of my life. I said, okay, right now I'm a single mama. I desire to be married one day in a healthy relationship, and how being a single mom is literally the best thing for me and for my future person. How did that make me the best version of myself? And how did that make me the best person to even be with, to even date? And how did that make me the best person that I was even before I even had kids? And how did that make me the best person to, even be in the dating market? So, not better than anyone else. Everyone is the best version of themselves, but the best version of myself. And why is this even important? So, when we resist our current reality, we start to feel a constant lack in life. Our bodies go into stress when that happens, and we can even get into fight or flight. So, the brain will keep scanning for what's wrong and what's missing and what's not enough. And what we focus on, we get more of. So the more that we feel lack, the more we keep looking for lack, the more that we keep staying in lack, and that keeps continuing until we break that cycle. So when you start to choose to see where you are in life right now has its benefits and you see the perfection in it, then you can signal safety to your body. And when your body feels safe, you move more into regulation, into a state where you can actually receive more, create more, and actually attract better outcomes. Our brains naturally look for problems to protect us. So you can actually train it differently to see how life right now is the best, to see the opportunity, and to see that this is actually working out for me. And this is where bloom, where you are planted, it really shifts you out of survival and you can receive more. And that's feminine energy. It's all about opening yourself up to receiving more and allowing more into your life and also creating more of what you actually want. So I took inventory of my life. I said, okay, this is where I'm at right now. This is the fact. So this is the first step that I want you to take is take inventory of your life without judgment. Just see it for what it is right now. And this is very important. I want you guys to listen up. If you're in any way triggered or annoyed with something going on in your life right now, you don't want to just jump into positive thinking. So what a lot of people usually do is when they feel triggered or unhappy about something, they try to just see the positive. But here's why you don't want to do that, and this is the missing key. So listen up. Whenever you feel triggered, highly emotional, or annoyed in any way, whether it's a circumstance, a situation that you're in, or maybe it's a person that's annoying you, it could be your partner, someone at work, your family member, it's always going to be a projection, aka reflection, which is a mirror of your inner world. And this means that what you perceive the situation to be is how you are being towards yourself in some way, in some area of your life. So you always want to see what the root cause of this projection is trying to teach you. See in what area of your life that you're not fully having unconditional love for yourself. Why do we get triggered? Why is this even happening? So think about a physical wound. If it hasn't fully healed, even the slightest touch can make it hurt. Emotional wounds, they work the same way. So when you feel triggered, it's because someone or something brushed up against that unhealed part of you. And this could either be from childhood or from being out of alignment with unconditional love. So the way that you're thinking about yourself, talking to yourself, treating yourself, and perceiving yourself. But here's the truth. Triggers aren't there to punish you. They're messengers revealing where you're not in balance and where healing is still needed. Everything in life is always leaning towards healing. Everything wants to heal. When we get a physical wound, it tries to heal itself. When a plant breaks, it tries to heal itself. So everything is leaning towards healing and wants to be in balance. So when we have wounds, when we have these inner wounds that need to be healed, when we are out of a balance with unconditional love within ourselves, the mirror effect happens. And it happens for us to finally wake up and see where we need inner work, where we need healing. And the mirror effect is when the people or circumstances that you are paying the most attention to will mirror back to you that lack of love that you have for yourself. They'll mirror back to you your inner wounds, maybe something from childhood that you picked up that needs to be seen right now and needs to be healed. So you're hard on yourself, others will be hard on you. If you talk down on yourself, so will others. Everything in life naturally seeks healing and balance. When we have unhealed wounds or when we're out of alignment with unconditional love for ourselves, the mirror effect happens, or projections will happen, reflections will happen, whatever you want to call it. The mirror effect means that people and situations that you focus on most will reflect the way that you treat yourself. So if you're hard on yourself, others will be hard on you. If you talk negatively about yourself, then you are out of balance with unconditional love for yourself. If you neglect yourself, you're out of balance with unconditional love for yourself. So others will mirror that neglect back to you. So this reflection is meant to show you where you need to bring love, compassion, and balance back into your life. And we have 8 areas of life. So wherever you're seeing the projection coming up, wherever you're seeing that reflection come up, that's not where the root cause is. So you want to get down to the root cause of the problem and why you're seeing it as a mirror. And this powerful life hack that can help you transform any challenging situation, I teach my clients how to face these reflections head on so they shift out of them. And let me tell you, this work isn't for the faint of heart. It can be deeply triggering, but it's for those who are ready to take full responsibility for their lives and make real lasting changes. So, after knowing what this projection is showing you and helping you, then that's when you want to take the steps into positive thinking. So you don't want to bypass these reflections. So remember, if anything is annoying you or triggering you in any way, it is a reflection. And so you want to heal that first before going into positive thinking. You don't want to bypass this part. It's very important because if you just go into positive thinking right away, it's not going to completely heal you and you're not going to get to that root cause. And it's like trying to put a temporary band-aid on. It's going to keep coming back up. So this is why skipping straight into positive thinking doesn't actually work long term. And when you feel triggered, your body is so activated, your nervous system goes into fight or flight or freeze. And that emotional reaction that you feel, that frustration, that irritation, that discomfort, is information. It's your body signaling that something deeper needs your attention. So there's actually research showing that suppressing or bypassing emotions, it doesn't actually resolve them. It actually stores them into your body and then they resurface later in different situations. So if you go straight into everything is perfect, everything is fine without looking at the root cause, your brain and your body don't fully process it. And then what happens? The same patterns will repeat. The same types of situations will show up. And the same triggers, they come back because your nervous system is holding on to that belief. So, when we can become aware of our emotions and our triggers, when we can see the reflection, we can start to understand what they're showing us about ourselves. And when we do that, we start to create safety into the body and we shift our beliefs at the root. We heal from the root cause. And then positive thinking will actually land and work. Then it actually creates change into our lives. So this is not just think positive, it's one, become aware, two, understand the reflection, and then three, shift the belief and then choose a new perspective. But what a lot of people miss is this part. They go straight into positive thinking, and you hear things like, oh, just think positive, or just see the good in where you are, just see the good right now. And yes, that is powerful, and that's a part of it. But there's the missing key is seeing the reflection. And that part of blooming where you're planted, that's the step in the middle where most people skip. Because if you go straight from feeling triggered, annoyed, and unfulfilled right into positive thinking, you are actually going to miss that reflection. And when you miss the reflection, it doesn't just go away, it just shows up somewhere else in your life. So before you jump to everything is perfect, you have to pause and ask yourself, what is this showing me? For example, if you're single and you hate being single, you're not liking where you're at in life, it's easy to say, okay, let me just be grateful, let me just think positive. But the deeper work is asking, why does this bother me so much? The root cause, it's not actually about being single. It's actually because you don't feel fulfilled in a different area of your life. There's 8 different areas of life, and if being in a relationship feels important to you at the moment, if that's what you're paying most attention to, then you're going to feel lack in that area. That's what you're going to notice it. So that's the reflection. The reflection is showing up in that area of life in relationships, but that's not the root cause. So the real process, it looks like you first want to take inventory. And then if you have a reflection coming up, you want to notice what's coming up for you and get curious about the reflection, how you perceive the situation or how the person is being is how you are being some way towards yourself in some area of life. And then you choose to see the perfection in where you are. That's how you actually bloom where you are planted. I saw where God placed me in life and I started to see the world around me and everything I had in that moment. Then I looked for the perfection in everything. A lot of times women believe, oh, I'll never find someone good to marry because I'm a single mom. Or, oh, there are so many more beautiful young women who don't have kids and they're better than me. They're better to date than me. We don't actually say that to ourselves out loud, but it's a belief that many women pick up because society tells us that kids will ruin our lives and that kids will hold us back and kids just, ruin our bodies. And we begin to continue these limiting beliefs. And that's what we get more of. The law of focus says that what we focus on, we get more of. Then we start to attract more of that into our lives. We attract the guys who make us feel like being a single mom is a bad thing. Or we attract the guy who's not all in, or the guy who maybe will ghost us to make us feel this limiting belief even more. It's going to be right in front of our faces for us to really see. And so it's all reflection. So if any of these things happens, then it's all perfect because they're all teaching you a lesson to love yourself even more. But when you can see how it's perfect, we start to create new beliefs. Your brain is always trying to prove you right. There's something called confirmation bias, which means that your brain looks for evidence to support what you already believe. So if deep down that you believe I'm not enough because I'm a single mom, your brain will scan for people, situations, and experiences that reinforce that belief. And your nervous system will actually feel familiar around inconsistency, rejection, or men who aren't fully available because it matches what you already expect. But when you shift your focus and start to see the perfection in your life, you start to feel more grateful for what you already have. You begin to send new signals of safety to your body, and your brain starts collecting new evidence. New types of men will feel safe to you. New experiences will start to feel normal. New beliefs will start to form. So, this is how you rewire your patterns, not just mentally, but in your body. And guys, you can't just do this for a week and think, new things are going to change. You have to consistently do this. Just like you're working out, when you work out a muscle and you want to grow your muscle, you have to keep doing it and then you have to maintain it. It's the same thing with our thought patterns. And that's when your reality begins to change. I had to see how being a single mom made me even better, not better than anyone else. You don't want to say any of this out loud. You want to just embody this. People who actually embody this, they don't need to shout it out, they just be. And when I say I had to see how that made me the best version of myself, that doesn't mean that I'm saying, oh, being a single mom is the best and everyone should go and be a single mom. But because that's where I was in life at the time, I had to use where I was at in life and see that it was the best thing and then start the process of creating what I actually did want in life. So, for example, being a mom made me more empathetic, more passionate, loving, caring. It taught me unconditional love. I was able to access my mother energy. I had to start seeing why being me made me the best person to love, to date, and to even marry. No questions asked. And that's true love. That's self love. That shift taught me how to truly love myself unconditionally. And when you love yourself that way, you will naturally become a match for someone who loves you for all that you are too. Because if I was hard on myself, if I believed that being a single mom somehow made me less than or a disadvantage, then I would have been out of alignment with unconditional love. And from that place, I would only attract people who reflected those same beliefs back to me in how they perceived me and how they treated me. I wasn't out here trying to convince men of this or constantly saying it out loud. I was just embodying this. I was just believing it. You don't have to announce your worth or explain your beliefs to everyone. The real shift really happens when you create new beliefs within yourself and you start living from them naturally. This is what embodiment actually is. It's not what you say, it's what your body communicates. Your tone, your presence, your energy, your level of safety within yourself. There's actually research showing that humans pick up on emotional states through something called neuroception. So, your nervous system is constantly scanning to feel if someone is safe and grounded. So, when you truly believe, I am enough, I am valuable, I am a catch, I love myself, I am beautiful, your body reflects that without needing to prove it. Your posture changes, your eye contact changes, the way that you respond changes, and people feel that, especially in dating. So there's no need to over explain who you are, but just being it, and that's what people are drawn to. So that season of my life really taught me how to fall in love with myself and appreciate everything I had, even when life felt really hard. And trust me, I'm going to be honest with you guys, it was really hard. I'm definitely not saying go be a single mom, it's the best thing ever. What I am saying is, if those are the cards that life dealt you, then let's find a way to still create a beautiful life through it. I became so grateful to be a mom. I was able to provide for us, even though I had to hustle hard. I made our little apartment feel so cozy and so beautiful, and I loved it, and it turned into a little home for me and my daughter. And I even started seeing the good in being on my own. I could focus on healing, doing my inner work on myself. I started going to the gym and working on my fitness. I really grew into the woman that I wanted to become. And then I started to fall in love with fitness and bodybuilding. I had to stop focusing only on what was hard and start looking for the good in everything. I started to love my life. I was living my best life even through the duality. And before I even knew do all of this, I was dating, I wasn't attracting the right men into my life, the men that I wanted to attract. I was attracting the men who were maybe talking to other women, men who maybe wanted to provide but still weren't truly my match. Then it made me feel like being a mom was somehow a burden instead of something beautiful. So everything started changing once I created new core beliefs about myself and my life. I got to a point where I genuinely loved being single. I loved working on myself. I loved being a mom. I became so fulfilled in my own life that I was honestly okay if I stayed single for a while. And that's what I did. And that's when I actually attracted my match. I wasn't really looking, I was so fulfilled in my own life. Because when you truly believe that what you already have is good and that your life is still beautiful, that you are still worthy, you become open to receiving from a completely different place. And that's when you start to bloom. That's when you're able to start the process of really creating and manifesting more of what you actually want. We have to be open to certain beliefs and feelings to be able to create more of what we want in life. When I was in a state of lack, feeling like something was missing, or like being a mom was a burden, my body was in a subtle stress response. And in that state, we're more likely to accept less, overlook red flags, or feel drawn to people who will reinforce that belief. This is what I call projections, aka reflections. How we treat, believe, and see ourselves is how others are going to treat us. But when we start to love your life, when we love ourselves, when we work on our self image, when we work on our self love, feeling grateful and feeling fulfilled where we are, the nervous system moves into regulation. And when we're regulated, we naturally raise our standards. Emotions like gratitude actually shift brain chemistry. So it increases things like dopamine, serotonin, which are tied to feelings of happiness, safety, openness, and connection. So when I say that's when I attracted my match, it's not just mindset. My brain and my body were now aligned with something healthier. I was no longer trying to fill a void. I was already feeling full within my own life, within myself. Doesn't mean that stressful things weren't happening, but I was so happy and fulfilled with my life and myself that I didn't need someone else to come in and fill that void. And from that place, we become open to receiving, not chasing, not proving, but allowing things that we actually want to come into our life. It's becoming the version of you who is available for what you've been asking for. So think about it. How is God or the universe or source going to give you more if you can't already receive what you have now? And then when I got married, my belief turned into being married is the best thing ever. What God has given me right now is the best of the best. This might be triggering for some people, but I personally don't think that I could be the kind of mother I truly dreamed of being without choosing a good man to build that life with. My husband allows me to be the kind of mother I've always dreamed of being. My dream was always to have a family unit that included two parents who love and care and respect each other, having a peaceful home, and having a husband who wants to protect that vision just as much as I do. I dreamed of being able to stay at home with my baby because that's what I personally wanted. I wanted to be the one to be present with my babies, to raise them myself instead of taking my babies to daycare or a babysitter, and create a beautiful family unit together. Not that there's anything wrong with daycare, I'm not saying that, but I didn't want to have to do that again because with my first baby, I had to do that because I was a single mom. And the way that I see family, it's like a tribe. The family unit has two parents who support one another, pour into one another, and work together to create a safe and loving environment for the children. And the vision that I have for motherhood involves two parents. It involves two people willing to grow together and create that kind of home and life that they want for their family. because that's what allows us to give our children the life that we envision for them, the life that we want for them. And for me, that also meant experiencing motherhood from my overflow instead of constant depletion. So if you look online or even everyday life, so many moms out there believe that being a good mom means being exhausted all the time. It means neglecting themselves and running on empty. And I sure as heck don't believe that motherhood has to look like complete self abandonment in order to be meaningful, in order to be loving, in order to be a good mom. And if anything, when we do that to ourselves, when we abandon ourselves, then we create reflections, and our partners will project what we're doing to ourselves, treating us the same way. So it all starts from within. It all starts with self love and self image work, energetically, mentally, and physically. So if our body doesn't feel safe with what we already have right now, it will be hard to hold more when we get more. And we will end up self sabotaging what we get because it's not normal to us. It's not normal to the nervous system. The nervous system has a certain capacity for how much love, joy, support, and stability it can actually receive and sustain. So if we can't receive what is now, we can't hold on to more happiness when we actually get more of what we want. And if we're always focused on what's missing, what's not enough, and then our bodies stay in a state of lack and tension. But when you fully receive what's already in your life right now, you create safety for your body, and that safety is what allows expansion to happen. It allows you to receive more and hold more. People who practice gratitude and appreciation increase their emotional capacity, meaning that they can hold more happiness, more connection, and more fulfillment without self sabotaging it. So when I shifted into the belief of this is the best of the best, this is perfect, I wasn't just settling, I was expanding my ability to receive more and be able to keep it. And from that place, life will naturally have room to give you more. But let me tell you guys, I am not perfect at this either. So even though I have the belief of where I'm at is the best of the best, being married is the best, but let me tell you, I get so many reflections, so many triggers. And once you attract your match, the healthy relationship will bring every limiting belief, wound, piece of trauma you've been carrying in your body from childhood and throughout your life. Because the version of you who is ready for a loving, healthy, lasting marriage can't take certain beliefs with her. The parts of you that have been suppressed, abandoned, rejected, or unseen will start to be asking to be acknowledged. And those parts of you will be shown as a projection when they are ready to be seen and healed. So you are going to get so triggered by your partner because these parts of you are ready to be seen. And when that happens, your inner world will begin to project into your reality. The person standing in front of you becomes a mirror, reflecting back those areas within yourself that still need healing, that still need self love, and still needs safety. And those big emotions that you felt as a child, the ways, maybe your parents or your caregivers made you feel, those fears are developed to protect yourself. All of it can resurface inside your union. So it's not to destroy it, it's not to destroy your relationship, but it's to give you both the opportunity to heal, to grow, and to love each other deeper. And it will happen in layers. One reflection will show up, and then once you heal that, things will be going good. And if you fall out of balance with self-love, or if there's more wounds inside of you that needs healing, more will start to show up. It comes in layers. When they're ready to be seen, it will be shown right in front of you. But I'm the kind of person who is willing to do the work, willing to invest in myself, willing to face the uncomfortable parts of me instead of running away from them, willing to break those generational traumas so it doesn't continue through my children and my future descendants. Because healing isn't just about me. Okay, it's about changing the emotional patterns, beliefs, and survival responses that have been passed down for generations. I want my children to experience a different kind of love, a different kind of home, a different emotional environment than the one that I may have experienced growing up. And that requires a lot of self awareness, accountability, inner work, and the courage to become the best version of me. And that's the greatest gift that I can give to my family. I will have a beautiful life and heal, or I will die trying to do that. And that's just me. That's just who I am. And the best version of you, the version of you who truly loves herself, doesn't carry the same limiting beliefs that you may still be holding on to today. Those beliefs were learned through experiences throughout your life, conditioning, pain, and survival. And at some point, they have to be unlearned. And this saved my relationship because if I didn't know this, I would think, oh my gosh, he's triggering me all the time. Maybe we're not meant for each other. But I always, even though I get so triggered sometimes, I always go back to, oh, this is my inner world projecting out. There's something that I need to learn here. There's this beautiful lesson for me. There's this beautiful healing for me, or there's this beautiful lesson of self love because you cannot create a new reality while operating from old beliefs that no longer align with who you are becoming. There has to be new core beliefs, beliefs that support you instead of limiting you, beliefs rooted in unconditional love, in safety, worthiness, trust, and truth. And the only way that we begin to see what still needs healing within us is through our reflections, if it's right in front of us. That's the only way that we're able to really see the wounds that need healing. The person or situation you focus on the most likely your husband or your partner, will often project those inner wounds back to you. So you start noticing triggers, emotions, fears, insecurities, and patterns will rise to the surface. Those are projections, aka reflections. So they're not there to punish you. So don't think, oh my gosh, like, why would I get punished like this? But it's there to reveal parts of you and parts of yourself that are asking to be healed, seen, and transformed. And they are going to act out all the ways that you think about yourself, how you see yourself, your limiting beliefs, how you perceive yourself, how you treat yourself physically, and all the ways that you felt as a child. And it's going to get amplified. They are going to become a mirror, and the both of you are going to trigger the heck out of each other. It's gonna get tough because you guys are there to heal each other, and this is hard work. It's not easy to face your reflections head on. It's not easy to say, hey, I am the common denominator, I am creating this. It's easy sometimes just to blame the other person and put blame on them, but you are the common denominator of what happens in your life. So we learn these beautiful lessons and we grow from them. And this is what I teach my beautiful clients and how to shift out of these projections and create more of what they actually want in life, in a relationship, whether they are married, dating, or single. And I teach them how to let all of these emotions out in a safe container because our emotions are actually beautiful. Our emotions actually teach us lessons. And in relationships, especially close ones, intimate ones, your nervous system becomes so activated. This is where our deepest patterns live, our attachment style, our past experiences, and our core beliefs about ourselves. So there's actually research in attachment theory that shows that we are drawn to partners who feel familiar to our nervous system. And even though it's not always what's healthiest at first, it's what feels known and normal. So when we are in a relationship, our partner will naturally trigger those unresolved wounds, not because something is wrong, but because those patterns are ready to be seen and healed. So this is also connected to something called emotional mirroring. So we as humans subconsciously reflect each other's emotional states and our behaviors and our beliefs. So when I say they become a projection or a reflection or a mirror, that's actually backed by science. And those triggers and emotions that you feel is your nervous system saying, hey, there is something there that needs attention and healing. Our emotions are always speaking to us. So they are all perfect. They are all there to teach us these lessons so we can bloom, we can grow. So the goal is not to blame each other. And trust me, I do it. We all do it. We're not perfect. I've had my crash outs, but it's just to become aware. And when you know this work, you know that, okay, this is actually a good thing because this is teaching me how to grow, how to heal from what I've been holding inside of me, how to love myself more, how to work on my self image more. And when you know this work, you see the patterns, you know how to regulate your body and choose new responses. That's how you break the cycle. And that's how you grow. And that's how relationships become a space for real healing, not just surface level love, but deep transformation. So even when my husband triggered me, I continued this belief of what I have is the best. My marriage is the best. My family, the best. It's all there to teach me something. Even when things aren't perfect and I'm getting triggered here and there, everything is always working out for me, even when I can't see it in the moment. When we get triggered, our body can go into fight, flight, or freeze. Our heart rate increases, our thoughts speed up, and the brain and body starts to try to protect itself. It thinks you're being chased by a lion. But when you hold on to a core belief like, this is always working out for me, okay, this is the best, we interrupt that stress response and we create a pause. When you know that this is a reflection, it allows you to respond differently instead of reacting automatically. And you can allow yourself to take a step back, feel the emotion, let it out of your body. And sometimes, when I'm triggered, I need to take a step back. I let out my emotion because I don't want to keep it inside, but I do it in a safe container. This doesn't mean I'm perfect at it, so don't ever be hard on yourself. But now that we know better, we can keep doing better. We keep learning. In neuroscience, the meaning that you give an experience, it directly affects how our brain and body respond to it. So if you label something as a threat, your body will tighten and defend itself. You will start to build up walls. And we, as women, we can't soften into our feminine energy. We become this masculine mask trying to fight and defend. But if you label it as growth, a lesson, or something working for you, you stay more regulated. And from that place, you can communicate better, see more clearly, and move through conflict without losing yourself most of the time. You can stay in your feminine. And this doesn't mean that things are always perfect. It just means that you trust that even the hard moments are part of something bigger. And that's what creates stability, more peace in your life, more love, and emotional safety inside of a relationship. Because I don't know about you guys, but I want a beautiful life. So if you want a beautiful life, you got to put in the work. And going back to bloom where you're planted, I want to give you guys another example. So before we built our home, I had to see how our living situation was the best. Even though it wasn't where I wanted to be at like forever, but I created a space for myself to enjoy and relax in the house that we were living in while we were waiting to build our home. I had to create that space for myself to really love. I made it pretty, I organized it, I gave it some TLC, I lit candles, I made it where I loved my situation. As we were in the process of building our home, we were living with my in laws, who are so amazing, who I love so much. But as a married couple, you want your own space, you want your own home. But I would have felt so bad and unfulfilled if I just stayed in lack and hated it there. I had to create my space to where I actually loved it and see the perfection. It allowed us to save more money, be able to make our new home more luxurious. It allowed me to get to know my in laws more and build a stronger relationship with them. It allowed us to be able to have a year of traveling, which we did, and we had so much fun doing it. I had to see how it was the best of the best in the moment. I enjoyed myself more while we were in the process of building our home instead of hating it. And now that we have our own home that we got to build, and now we live in a compound with the family. So my family lives right next door, but now I think that's the best. So each belief can be true or untrue for someone. They are all limiting beliefs. But once I was able to choose new beliefs that no longer limit my life, but help my life bloom, that helped me start creating a life that I actually wanted and loved. You can still want more in life and love where you're at now at the same time. Both things can be true at the same time. So, guys, see what I did? I took a situation that I could have felt restrictive, and instead I created safety, comfort, enjoyment, love within it. And that's what regulation looks like, because when your environment feels good in your body, when it feels calm, organized, intentional, your nervous system can actually relax. There's research showing that our physical environment directly impacts our stress levels, our mood, our sense of control. Simple things like lighting candles, organizing your space, making it pretty, enjoying it, making it feel like yours can actually lower stress hormones and increase feelings of safety. And when you feel safe, you're able to think more clearly, feel more gratitude, and stay open instead of feeling stuck in survival mode. I learned how to shift my perception from this isn't enough to this is working for me. And that shift is what allowed me to actually enjoy my life while still moving toward more, while still wanting to create more. Because the truth is, your nervous system doesn't know the difference between this is temporary and beautiful and this is lacking and not enough. It responds to what you believe. So when I chose to see, okay, this is the best of the best, my body can relax more. And from that place, I didn't just go through the season, I actually loved it. And that's the difference. It's because I loved the situation. I wasn't in a rush. I mean, kind of, but I wasn't trying to escape it. I knew what I wanted was going to happen for me, anyways. I might as well enjoy where I'm at now. And because of that, I was more present, more open. I was actually able to enjoy myself while things were unfolding for me. And what that did is it allowed me to make better decisions. I wasn't forcing anything, I wasn't settling, I wasn't saying yes to things that I didn't align with just because I wanted to get out of that situation. I felt calm, I felt grounded, and from that place, more opportunities came, better opportunities. So when people feel safe and regulated, they're actually more open to opportunities and more likely to recognize what's actually good for them. So by me loving my current situation, I wasn't just being positive. I was putting my body in a state of where I could receive more, see more, choose better, and that's what naturally leads to manifesting more in your life. It also showed me that because in the beginning I wasn't fully feeling fulfilled where I was, so I had to switch the perspective. But because I felt that in the beginning, I knew it was a reflection. So I knew that there was some area in my life where I wasn't fully feeling fulfilled in, and I got to do that. I saw how it was perfect that I was able to now take the time to dive into my inner work, to really work on myself, to feel more fulfilled within myself. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Bye.